Good afternoon. This is Pastor Ross, interim pastor for the Glasgow Baptist Church in Glasgow, Virginia. Good afternoon. I'm going to be sharing with you from the scriptures this afternoon from Mark 16, verse 9, focusing on the Easter season. Mark 16:9 reads, "After Jesus rose from the dead early on Sunday morning, the first person who saw him was Mary Magdalene, the woman from whom he had cast out 7 demons." Well, I want to focus on Easter, but maybe particularly the Easter word itself, where it comes from. But Easter, of course, has always been a great time of the year. As a person, personally, I've had many fond memories of Easter from my childhood, growing up, and over the years, even with my own children, coloring and hiding eggs, getting chocolate candy, of course, dressing in new clothes. That was always a big part of it when I was a kid. Anybody here remember those white buck shoes? You remember those pinstripe suits? Of course, Easter was always more than this, and it should be. All than that, but it is all better than all of that. It was also about the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's precisely what it's about the resurrection of Jesus from the tomb following his crucifixion, and it's about the worship of Jesus, of course, with fellow believers on what we call Easter Sunday morning. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but did you know that the word Easter occurs only in the King James Bible, and it only occurs once in the King James Bible? It occurs in Acts chapter 12, verse 4, and this is how it reads, "And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people." That's the only place that the word Easter itself is used. It's really not a good translation, actually, from the original language. It should, in reality, it should be translated Passover. The word Easter there should be translated Passover. The word Easter, actually, believe it or not, the word Easter comes from a pagan origin, and over the years, over the centuries, it has crept into the church as the church has tried to sort of quote-unquote Christianize pagan holidays. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. But the church was actually trying to counter the pagan gods of fertility. We've been trying to Christianize pagan holidays. Easter bunnies and the coloring of Easter eggs come, of course, from those pagan gods. Somewhere along the way, pagan practices got mingled in with Christian celebrations, and that was one of the hazards of the whole thing. It's something that did take place. Halloween, we look at Halloween. Halloween was a pagan holiday altogether, aimed at countering the Christian All Hallows Day celebration. Christians were trying to counter that. The word Easter comes from a word pronounced in its original language as Ustra. And Ustra was the great mother goddess of the Saxon people in Northern Europe. So Easter definitely has pagan origins to it, and when we use the word. So over the years, I've tried to avoid using it as much as possible. It's almost impossible to avoid using it. What alternative would we have? Of course, we as Christians should and could call it a Resurrection Day as opposed to Easter. Well, of course, the early church worshipped on Sunday, since this was the day that Christ rose from the grave, and this is why the church called Sunday the Lord's Day. in some sense of the word, every Sunday, the Lord's Day, is Resurrection Day. And the truth of the matter is, but